glad that we actually ventured into the bagasse story from the very beginning, because it's a very important and it's a huge situation, if I'm going to put it that way, rather than class it as a story. Yeah. I think that it's going to spell trouble, particularly for that reason. It's oppression. It's like capitalism versus socialism, or, you know, the people ruling. And because of the how can I don't even know how to class what happened that day, but the energy and the passion that they have, and they're not going to let go. And it seems, notwithstanding everything that has happened so far, neither will BSI ASR. I don't know if you guys paid attention to the last release that BSI put out, but it's like nitpicking the smaller things, and, you know, the wording and that sort of thing, and we still have not come to the table. I personally feel, and that was a question I posed to the Prime Minister, I'm like, well, will you be present at the meeting when they sit down to discuss pricing? And I think that's very important, and I personally feel that at the end of the day it will have to come down to that, because right now, even though there may have been some semblance of progress, they are still so wide apart that I do not see any other way forward than the Prime Minister actually sitting down with them, because it seems that both sides respect the Prime Minister. Obviously, he's the leader of the country. We saw what happened when he sat down with BSI and ASR. They finally said, okay, yeah, we will pay for it, but then there were conditions. So that's my take on it.
One of my concern was, based on the importance of this situation, I don't understand how come it got hung up in the Prime Minister's office, passing that information on from the sugarcane farmers to the ASI, was it?
ASR.
ASR. ASR is American Sugar Refinery. And so that
refining, I believe it is.
American Sugar Refining. So that was one concern.
And the farmers themselves at that meeting, the CEO for the association said that it was delay tactics that are being played. There's another one particular point as well that it made me think that when the Prime Minister went out of the country, and I believe he's supposed to return right here, so I imagine that there's an update due in relation to that particular issue, whether ASR and BSI will in fact have a meeting. But the Deputy Prime Minister was the one who was left in charge, and that meeting with the association, with its membership, happened on Sunday. I would have imagined that by Monday they would have gotten out the motions that were passed to the Deputy Prime Minister for that to go out latest Tuesday, I would say. And that letter or the decision of the cañeros didn't go out to BSI, ASR until Wednesday afternoon. I found that, and when I spoke to one of the representatives of the association, he said apparently there was some miscommunication. But I mean, what miscommunication in the office of the Prime Minister? I don't understand. It's so simple, sending a letter. So, yeah.
And I liked how you framed it within the capitalist, socialist framework, because that's exactly what it is. And then when you have, for example, the accusation of the tactics for the delay in passing information, and then you may not want to believe it, but when you're seeing it happen more than once, then you have to say what's going on. And another thing that I thought was,
still on that point,
yes,
I think it's important to mention, and I don't think, at least I didn't think about it until it was raised. Remember when the Prime Minister first met with BSI ASR? That's after ASR had made known its position that bagasse was not a byproduct.
Right.
All right. The leader of the opposition at a press conference said, you are not showing that you are as serious about this issue as you should be, because it's something, I mean, the days are passing by and we need to be able to say we will start the sugar crop season on a date agreed on by both parties. So the leader of the opposition was saying you should have sent your position to ASR so that when you come to the meeting, well, it's just to discuss how we go from here, but then you still had to put your position to ASR because you hadn't sent any information ahead of time. And I think that could have saved time as well. It was a very valid point that he raised in my view. Delay again? I don't know.